Welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast with your hosts, Jason Mefford and Kathy Gruver. Fire and Earth, giving you the keys to unlock your limitless potential.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. I am your host, Kathy Gruver.
And I'm Jason Mefford. And today we thought it would be good to talk about gratitude.
Yay,
Everybody
Jason.
say it with this, gratitude.
Gratitude. Jason, I'm grateful for you. This has been a really phenomenal experience working with you.
Well, and I'm grateful for you as well.
Thanks.
It's always fun to get on here, and I get as much out of this as So I'm grateful that we have this podcast and can do this together.
And hopefully our audience is grateful because every time they listen or watch, they're getting amazing info and amazing ideas out of it. So the reason we're talking about gratitude is I was just at a conference, and it's pretty rare that I actually get to hear other speakers, but I had the afternoon free, and it was a veterinary conference. So I thought, it's kind of not my field. So what do I need to know? And the gentleman who was speaking after me was talking about gratitude. And we might as well give him a shout out. His name was Andrew Horn, and he did this really great hour-long talk on gratitude. And one of the exercises he had us do that you and I just talked about before we got on the air was he had us write down a couple things. Write down a person we're grateful for, a place we're grateful for, and a thing we're grateful for. And then he took it a little bit further and he looked at past, present, and future. What is something that just happened that you're grateful for? What's happening right now that you're grateful for? And what's about to happen in the next couple days to a week that you're looking forward to, that you're grateful is going to be happening. And talking about that shifting perspective and how doing a gratitude journal and being in a place of gratitude actually increases our happiness by about 10%. So anytime, and we talk about this all the time, shifting our perspective so that we can reach that potential. When we go into a situation more grateful and more positive, we are going to be acting differently. We are going to be responding differently. So all of you, when you get off listening to this, go ahead and write some things down that you're grateful for. It's a really great exercise of, what is happening in my life right now. I can tell you 30 bad things, or I can look at the 5 million good things. What do you want to put your focus on? So I love that he had us do that exercise, and I came up with some really good stuff. So thoughts on gratitude, Jason?
Well, yeah, it is. And actually the gratitude journal, because I've read some different things about this as well too. So it's good. Some people like to do something every day, like write down some things every day that they're grateful for. Other people like to do it once a week, or maybe on a couple times a week. However you end up doing it. And here's again, probably the best way to do it is it's a journal, which means write it down. And actually write it. Don't just type it on your computer, write it out by hand and in cursive if possible, because that fires more neurons in your brain, and it actually helps you retain it better and internalize it much better. So get out an old piece of paper and pen, old school. We're going old school this week. There we go. Yeah. And actually write it down, because that's going to have a bigger impact, and it'll feed more into your subconscious as well. When you're doing that. And I think that this is, to me, it's kind of a fascinating topic, because I've done a lot of research about happiness and well-being. Subjective well-being is the way that you kind of measure people's happiness by asking them certain questions and doing stuff. And one of the things that causes the biggest spike in people's happiness is gratitude. And the tool of a gratitude journal is one of the best ways to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we're talking about gratitude, because and it also reminds me, because I think about this, I like to try to use analogies or other stuff, because some of the listeners may be sitting there and going, "Oh, Jason, be grateful, blah blah blah," right? Well, yeah, right. Charlie Brown's teacher. But I want you to stop and think about this for a minute. Do you know people who are grateful and those who are not grateful? Okay, we all do. And have you ever given something to someone, and sometimes they're grateful, with someone else they may not be grateful? So if the person that you gave something to was grateful, what are you more likely to do next time? Give them more, right? Because they're grateful, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
The people who are not grateful, you don't feel like or want to give them anything.
Right.
And so again, if we kind of take some steps back and think about kind of the universe, energy, God, whatever you happen to believe in, do you think that power is more likely to give you good stuff if you're grateful for the good stuff you have, or if you're not grateful? So, not only does it actually do some physiological things to our body, but again, kind of from a faith perspective, it does something too.
Yeah.
And so the more grateful we are, the more good things will happen, as well as the happier we're actually going to be.
Absolutely. And to go back to your point of when we give somebody something and they're grateful for it, or we do something for someone and they're grateful for it, it not only changes them, it also changes us. And one of the biggest complaints, I mean, we both go into corporations and we do corporate training and coaching. One of the biggest complaints among staff is they don't feel appreciated by those higher ups. They don't feel appreciated by their coworkers. And so the other thing that this gentleman who was speaking had us do was actually text and message people right then, 3 people, and say, I am grateful for you. And he said, if you can add in the because, it's one thing to say, I love you. It's another thing to say, I love you because da 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 da. People bandy about the I love you all the time. But why? It really makes you think about what that person brings to your life, your company, your corporation. Not that you'd walk around your office telling everybody you love them, but you do want to say, hey, dude, you went above and beyond the other day. Thank you so much for doing that for me. And there was a group here in Santa Barbara. It's a nationwide women's group called Association of Women in Communications, AWC. And one of the things they would do when we would go around and do the sort of the speed introducing was they then had a section of, hey, is there somebody else here today? Is there somebody else in this association, this organization that you want to do a shout out to? And so many of the women stood up and said, I was having trouble with my computer, and Sarah contacted me and she helped me with it, thank you to her. And they would do these appreciation things to the other women, which I thought was so valuable because, one, it was a way to get to know everybody deeper. And it was nice to get those kudos of, oh my God, I did that. Thank you for acknowledging that I did that thing for you. I appreciate that. And it just becomes that pay it forward thing. I read a study ages ago about if someone's trying to get into traffic, maybe from a parking lot or something, and you stop and you let them go in front of you, they are then more likely moving forward to let other people in front of them and to be nicer and kinder as they drive. So it does become that pay it forward thing from a cosmic perspective. It allows your employees and your staff to know they are appreciated, in which case they're going to go above and beyond for you. And it strengthens our relationships. I love you because why? It also allows us to look forward to some positive thing in the future. I am so grateful that I'm going to San Diego this weekend, or whatever it is. And like that little kid who marks off the days before we go to Disneyland, as an adult, we tend to not do that. I gotta go to, we dread these. I gotta get taxes together, and I gotta, But what are you looking forward to that you're grateful for? Focus on that instead. Let that wave of positivity carry you through those other things that are sometimes a drudgery that we have to do. But what are you grateful? I'm grateful that I make enough money that I have to pay taxes.
I know.
It's like I'm grateful that I have a computer and a brain and an assistant that we can all sit down and organize my taxes. I'm grateful that my tax dollars go to help the environment and help as I try to focus on the positive things they're doing. I can tell you all they're doing wrong, but no one asked me. So, but it is about shifting that perspective and letting people know you appreciate them. I think that's one of the biggest things is then sharing that information, sharing that message with other people.
Well, and that's why I think it's the simple please and thank yous in life, and again, some of this kind of goes back to gratitude, but like you said, if we are expressing gratitude, if we're doing it kind of through our gratitude journal just for ourselves, it still benefits us and it helps us. But the more that we can actually express that gratitude for other people, it does exactly what you said. It's that pay it forward, that general reciprocity that makes the world a better place. smiling to people, waving to people, letting people merge in, holding the door open for someone, saying thank you. I really appreciate that. Being more specific, like you said, instead of just saying I love you, say what it is you love or what you are grateful for.
Yeah.
Again, instead of just saying I'm grateful, right? It's like we started off saying, hey, Kathy, I'm grateful for you. Well, I am, and there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that we have this relationship and this banter, and that we kick each other in the butt, and just to kind of do what we need to do and try to unlock the best in both of us, right? I mean, I'm grateful for that. I love getting onto these conversations, and see, you probably feel that more too than me just saying, "Oh, Kathy, I'm grateful for you."
Right.
Yeah. And so the more we do that, it makes the world around us a better place. And one person literally can change the world. They may not change all 7 billion people on the earth, but they're going to change the few people around them. And it's just like that little rock, being skipped or thrown out into the water. It starts having those ripples.
Yep.
And eventually these little things that we do impact a much, much greater area.
Yeah. It's the butterfly effect. It's the butterfly flapping its wings wherever affects all this other stuff. And I want to talk to cover yours, Jason. I want to talk to the ladies listening right now. Okay. Don't cover your ears.
Cover my ears.
Ladies, learn to take a compliment. If somebody says you look really nice, just say thank you. Don't make an excuse. Don't be like, oh, I didn't read. Just say thank you. It's all you have to say, because for some reason I have met so many women who want to talk themselves out of a compliment. Oh, well, I didn't realize, I just put this on. Just say thank you. Just say thank you and appreciate that someone has gone out of their way to say something nice to you. And for some reason, men don't do that. Men don't explain away a compliment, but I see a lot of women doing it. And when I'm at the Magic Castle, which is a very fancy coat and tie cocktail attire place, I'm very comfortable being dressed up. I'm a dancer. I'm very comfortable in my body. I'm comfortable around other people. I put on a dress and rock it, and that's just, I walk around confident in that. A lot of women don't. You can see they're uncomfortable with themselves. They're kind of hunched over in the strapless dress, and I go out of my way to see those women who are maybe not as comfortable in their skin as I am, and I go, you look really nice. And they oftentimes go, thank you, because it coming from another woman is a big difference than if your boyfriend says you look really nice. I have no ulterior motive. I am not going home with you. So I can just tell you that you look nice. I did that at the gas station the other day. There was a guy pumping gas next to me. He looked smart. He looked so well dressed. And I think I scared the crap out of him because I kind of came around the pump.
Like, hello.
He was like, you look really nice. And he's like, oh, thank you. I disappeared behind the pump like some creepy Muppet. But it's like, I want people to know, thank you for doing that. You look really nice. Let's laugh. Or, whatever it is, it's like, let's spread this out. Let's spread that gratitude and that positivity out to other people. That's the way it grows. It's the butterfly effect, the ripple out. This is within our power to do, and it moves us forward, and it allows our staff to feel appreciated and our colleagues, so that we can do a better job and reach those goals together and reach that full potential.
Well, and I think as you were talking, it reminded me too of there are a lot of very lonely people in the world. There's a lot of, most of us, over 75% of us have imposter syndrome. We feel like we're in over our head and that we're really worthless or anyway. And what you don't realize is doing that more. This kind of reminded me of a few experiences that I've had in my life where, you never know if you're the person who really has huge impact on that other person's life, because there are a lot of people in this world that don't have any positive from people, that are very alone and just smiling, saying hi, going around the pump and saying, you look nice today. that can actually make somebody's day, week, or year.
Uh-huh.
And so it makes your year too when you actually realize and find out about that. So it not only makes you feel good, but it makes everybody else feel good. And there's a lot of people out there that are hungry for that. So try to spread the sunshine wherever you can, because you never know. Literally, you may actually save someone's life if they're in a very dark space.
Uh-huh.
And talk to them and cheer them up for a couple of minutes in the checkout line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right?
Or at the gas pump. It can make all the difference to somebody. It's fabulous. So here's all your assignments. Go write down things you're grateful for. And go ahead. Let's text or call or email 3 or 4 people and say, I'm grateful for you, and say why. And when I did that during this talk, I got all these great messages back of, oh my gosh, I know you mean that coming from you. That's just so great. And it's like, reach out to people that you haven't talked to in a while. Reach out to people who you do talk to all the time, but they don't know that you appreciate them. Share that with them, because then that's going to radiate out. And it'll help everybody reach their potential and be happier. Yes. So I think that's a beautiful place to end. Everybody go be grateful to get today and tell people that you appreciate them.
And when you do, you're going to feel better. They're going to feel better. And we're going to unlock not only your potential, but the potential of this beautiful world. And it's a great place. Oof.
It is a great place. We're lucky to be here. Cool. Yeah. All right. I'm Kathy Gruver. I can be reached at kathygruver.com.
And I'm Jason Mefford. I can be reached at jasonmefford.com. So go out, be grateful, and have a great rest of your day and week. And we'll see you on a future episode of the Fire and Earth podcast.
Take care.